Hello, I'm Mr. Carrington.
Okay. Your first question is, why is history important?
Well, history is important because without history we have no sense or frame of reference in time.
Hey guys, I'm Aman, and I'm gonna give my reflection about history.
Okay, your first question is, why is history important?
I think history is important because it let us know about what our ancestors did and what they went through.
Hi, my name is Daniel Obzuris, and I'm going to tell you guys my reflection on history.
Your first question is, why is history important?
Well, history is important because it helps us understand change and how society we live in came to be.
Why is history important?
History is important because it keeps you from making mistakes. If you properly analyze what has happened in the past, it can help you and keep you from making mistakes in your future. If you don't look at your history, you in some cases you will make the same mistakes over and over again.
Second question is, how does your knowledge of history affect your life?
Well, I feel empowered by the stories that were told to me, what took place years ago.
Your second question is, how does your knowledge of history affect your life?
It affects my life because now I know about what Christopher Columbus did to the Indians or the Native Americans, and now I know to not celebrate his day.
How does your knowledge of history affect your life?
My knowledge of history affects my life by knowing true meaning behind holidays like Christopher Columbus Day or Thanksgiving, etc.
How does your knowledge of history affect your life?
My knowledge of history affects my life. For example, I grew up in the South during very prejudiced times, and from being a young boy, 9 years old, riding on the bus and learning about that imaginary line, learning that there was, even if there were open seats in front of the bus, you knew about that imaginary line, and you went to the bench seat in the back and the other two, and you didn't move forward unless you asked the driver, could you move up? And then later on in life, when I got to be like 12 and 13, those laws were put away. But just going through that experience, I learned some indicators to look at. I can see some of the same type of stuff trying to come back right now, even though this is 2016. And I wouldn't be aware of that if I hadn't experienced it when I was young. You know, I know about it because I've seen it before.
Last question is, what's one thing you would change in history and why?
I would change the color of the White House.
Why?
I think it should represent a more diverse society. Maybe it should be rainbow or polka dot.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
Would change in history and why?
I wouldn't change anything in history because that means it might lead to something else that's even worse than what's happened.
What's one thing you would change in history and why?
Well, I wouldn't change anything that happened in the past because they could change something well, it could affect us now.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
One thing you would change in history and why?
If you know, as men we're fallible and we think we know, but I would just like to see a world where everybody was the same race, and just see how that would be. You know what I mean? Just to see how would we still kill? Would we still be prejudiced? You know, would we still find some type of way to discriminate, even though we're all the same race? So that would be interesting for me to see how that would be.